At the same time, I've also heard from people say that I don't have enough time. At least people, for example, who are starting like a side hustle. What advice do you have for those people who say, you know what, like I'm gonna take 2 weeks off work, or like I have 1 month, or I'm gonna take the Christmas break and I'm gonna work on this, and if this works, then I'm in, and if it doesn't work, then I'm killing it. Because I've seen people do that.
Again, good question there. I think a little bit differently. So I feel like my advice wouldn't be what those people want to hear. I don't look at anything and say I'm going to give it a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months. If I'm going to do something and commit my time to it, again, I know that I'm not going to be successful at everything at the same time. So I pick and choose what I want to commit myself to. To this day, I get pitched on opportunities, as you can imagine. I'm sure you do as well in your business and line of work. I get pitched on things all the time. I have people reaching out to me and pitching me on joint ventures or projects all the time. The answer is always no, period. It's always no. It has to be an extreme case where I really see an alignment there and it's aligned with my personal goals and where I'm going, and then it can be a fit, and then I'll say yes. But the immediate answer, first of all, is always no. Something, again, I learned from my first mentor, Jim Rohn. He said it's always better to say no first, and then it's a pleasant surprise if you say yes, as opposed to doing the opposite. So the answer is always no. And most of the time, the reason is it's not in alignment with where I'm going, right? So I don't think with anything in the sense of a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, or whatnot. So if somebody's wanting to take their Christmas break or a holiday or a weekend or a week off work to build something, I don't know what they're trying to build. I don't know anything or any great business that was built in a week. So, I'm really not a fan of that. And like I said earlier, the people that I speak to are a lot of younger people that come to me for advice, and they're inspired by my journey, which is great. It's amazing. That's what I wanted to do, right? When I was younger and I was seeking answers and I was constantly looking for mentors, books, things like that, a lot of times I felt like these gurus or entrepreneurs or people I was looking up to weren't being clear enough. A lot of times I felt like they're not really answering the questions. They're kind of avoiding it. I felt like there's a bit of a smoke screen there or something. And I was always looking for answers. And one thing I told myself is, as I progress and I become more and more successful and I accomplish my goals and targets, I want to give back and I want to give real tangible advice to people that, come to me. I want to do the opposite. I want to do what I needed. I want to give people what I really needed back then, right? So that's what I try to do nowadays. So I'm very clear with people. I don't pursue anything that's just a short-term commitment or a side hustle or a part-time thing. It's not worth my time. And I feel like if you're really committed to one or two things that you're doing, you just don't have the time to do that, period. So that's the first thing I would say. And you know how I feel about this. It's really not something, if you look at, I'll give you an example here. If you look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, some of the most obviously successful, people hate them, people love them, doesn't matter. They've generated massive amounts of wealth and built incredible companies. If you look at these guys, I think I was listening to a podcast. This is probably over a year and a half ago, but I never forgot this. I think it was Jeff Bezos that said any decision we make at Amazon or at Blue Origin is with a 7-year time frame in mind. 5 to 7 years, I think he said. If it's less than a 5 to 7 year time frame, we don't even consider that decision. So you're talking about some of the most successful people, some of the best or biggest companies on the planet, and every micro decision they make is with a 5 to 7 year time frame in mind, and that's short term to them. So if that's how they're thinking, I'm going to model that. I'm not going to model the dude who's trying to start an ecom business in a week. You know what I mean? Just as an example. No shots taken at ecom. It's a great business for many. But I look at that. I look at Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I look at these guys, right? And I look at how they operate. I look at their actions, and their actions speak volumes. So if they're looking at every single decision they make with a 5 to 7 year time frame, then that's where I stand as well. I think if you're going to do something, you have to be committed to it. And this isn't that black or white thing, all in or all out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to be committed with a long-term perspective and understand that it's going to be a work in progress and it's going to take time. And, your efforts will compound just like your money does in your investments in different assets. Your efforts also compound over the days, months, years, and then a decade from now, 2 decades from now is where you see the results. So that's where I stand with that.